Hello, my name is Lucas, this is a Bit of Lit. I'm here to talk about George R.R. Martin's Nightflyers and Other Stories, a short story collection of his stories from the 70s and one from the 80s, that being Nightflyers. And I would have to say that I was drawn to this because I'd only ever read one other short story of his, The Sons of the Dragon, from another collection, which I might talk about at the very end briefly. I've read 2 chapters of A Game of Thrones, but then stopped, which is actually, I think, the first book I ever bought on Kindle. But then I was like, wait, the books aren't done yet, so I'll just wait to read, and then, yeah. Anyway, I'm very impressed with this. There are 6 stories in here, and the first one is Nightflyers, the second one is Override, then there's Weekend in a War Zone, which I've already talked about a little bit on this channel in a video I made a couple days ago, and 7 times Never Kill Man, nor The Many-Colored Fires of a Star Ring, and A Song for Leah. Or Leia. Not entirely sure how you want to say that. I am incredibly impressed by 3 of these stories, and the other 3 are pretty good, but relative to the 3 that I really love, they don't really hold a candle. I would say of those 3 that I don't really love, Override is quite interesting. It has some zombies being used as slave laborers, basically, in a mining operation. Which maybe sounds bad, but it has some interesting ideas, and so do the other 2. But what I want to talk about a little bit are the 3 stories that I do enjoy. I did already talk about Weekend in a War Zone, so I won't elaborate too much, but I will say that it is a very good story about a man that pays to go to war out of boredom. And possibly a promotion and this kind of thing, and slowly loses his mind. And it does a very good job of playing with some tropes. If you have not seen war, but you've seen it in movies, and then you'll sort of understand these tropes. I suppose if you have seen war, you will understand those feelings that the character goes through, but it really plays with those and gives a great twist when you find out that he's actually paid to go here. Seems like it's a critique of the Vietnam War, because it was written coming off the tails of that, so pretty good story. Made me a little bit angry, not at the author, just sort of this spectator sport aspect that exists to this day and utterly drives me insane. But it's very good. The next story that I want to talk about is A Song for Leah, which is the last story in here. It's sort of a novella, I think. It's long enough to be anyway. Very, very good story. I mean, just like, I really enjoy it quite a lot. It's a story of these 2 telepaths that are sent to sort of research this alien species, which is the oldest civilization, oldest species in the galaxy or in the universe. But they've not really advanced basically past a Stone Age, or, you know, they're just not technologically advanced. Humans found them, even though this species is much older than humans. So that has an interesting element there. The aliens in the story are called Shkeen, and they have this relationship with this parasite, the Grinchka, which are a gelatin, jelly-like creature that doesn't have cognition at all in any way. It just sort of attaches itself, and there's this element of having it on you that you somehow then become connected to all the other Grinchka and feel a lot of pleasure and happiness and joy and this kind of thing. And the Shkeen, once they hit a certain age, will willingly put them on, attach themselves to the Grinchka, or attach the Grinchka to them, which is slowly drinking the life out of them, and will eventually, at the union, or the final union, consume them. And the way that the people are consumed is quite horrific, but it gives them pleasure because they're all connected and feel love with all the other schemes and other, throughout history that are all connected through the Greenska, because all the Greenska are one. And they feel connected and they don't feel lonely and they all feel loved, and it's really quite beautiful. And that is the thing that the telepaths are trying to understand. They are also lovers of each other who feel like they are better lovers than us normal people because they can read each other's minds. However, once they try to read the minds of these people who sort of have surface level thoughts, the woman here, Leah, whose powers are stronger because of her training, make of the rest of it what you will, but her powers are stronger. She's able to see further into her lover's mind, but there's a certain limit, and she has to really drain herself to do this kind of thing. And although they do feel like they're better connected than the normals, she's starting to think, well, wait a second, there is an element of our relationship where there are depths where we don't know each other and we don't even know ourselves. I know things about you that you don't know about yourself, and you can't even know things about me that I don't know about myself because your abilities are not as strong as mine. And she has a sort of breakdown about this and becomes more fascinated with the schemes in Greenska. And I'll leave it at that because there's still a lot more, and it's such a cool story. But Nightflyers is my favorite one in here, also a novella. Quite a bit longer. It is, and tell me if you've heard this before, a group of scientists, or a group of people, traveling through space on a spaceship, and one by one they all go missing. Does it sound like Alien? It's a little bit like Alien, but just on the surface level. They are scientists in search of new technology from a highly advanced species, the Volcrin, that they believe has technology that will help the now fallen empire of Earth. And so it's driven by one scientist in particular, his lifelong motivation to come into contact with this alien species. They travel aboard a ship that doesn't often take passengers, and also is the only one that would take this kind of mission on. And unfortunately, as they find out, having a telepath on the crew is going to serve great problems for them. And might I say that even worse than that, there is an unexpected guest passenger that they don't know about until it's far too late. Yeah, it's really horrifying. It's completely terrifying and claustrophobic and these kind of things. Very smartly written. And I also really enjoy, there's actually a kind of thematic relationship of what's going on the ship when everything is falling apart, and the Volcrin, which I don't want to spoil because I hope you do read the story on your own, as well as the Song for Leah and even Weekend in a War Zone. In that sense, those three stories are so strong that I would recommend it if you're interested in this. The other three stories are also quite interesting. Maybe they're for other readers. Maybe other readers will find them more interesting than I do, or even better than the three I just talked about. But yeah, I really enjoy it. I would say I recommend this just for those three stories, because the other three are also, not too bad. And I look forward to reading more George R.R. Martin. I have no expectations of his magnum opus ever being finished, but I would like to read some of his other short stories and stuff like Sand Kings and that kind of thing. So that's what I'll be looking forward to next. Maybe one day I'll get to A Song of Ice and Fire, but I don't know. Anyway, great collection of short stories, really great writing. Yeah, check it out. Oh, and by the way, I would like to say that this book was dedicated to Gardner Dozois, who is a really popular science fiction editor, really famous, very amazing editor. And one of his last works was The Book of Swords, Part 1 and 2, which is where I first read George R.R. Martin, because he has a story in here that is set in Westeros, and it's sort of a history, actually, of the sons of Aegon Targaryen, the first of his name, I believe. And this one is also great, because it's got a really amazing story by C.J. Cherryh, I believe. That one is called Fronting, and it's about what happens after Beowulf. And then there's a really great story of Robin Hobb set in her universe. I haven't read anything by Robin Hobb except this story, but of all the stories in here, that is the best one. And then probably 2A, 2B for George R. Martin and C.J. Cherryh's stories. But all the stories in here are very well chosen, also interesting and exciting. Just want to recommend those as well. Thank you.